What's going on? How y'all doing? So in this video, I'm gonna say Tom Brady is the most dominant NFL player ever, and I'm not even gonna hesitate. You know. Now there's a difference between him being the GOAT in football and then in all other sports. I'm not gonna give him that status in other sports. I mean, he will never be what Muhammad Ali was to me for boxing and the impact and the strategy and for the duration. Different era, different sport. He's not going to even be Floyd Money Mayweather when you think about 50-0 and that dominance. Because I know some people don't want to give Floyd Money Mayweather his due, but to be 50-0 in boxing, to do it the way he did it, it's incredible. Baseball, I'm always going to say Barry Bonds is the best I ever saw, most dominant. He didn't have the jewelry, but he got everything else. That's debatable. Serena Williams in women's tennis, Roger Federer in men's, Michael Phelps in swimming, Tiger Woods for me in golf, because I think his impact and what he did was a bit more than Jack Nicklaus. You know, Nicklaus got 3 more majors in him, but Tiger Woods changed the course and did it for a long time, and it was dominant. It's hard to take that away. Different people in track and field. Basketball, Bill Russell's the greatest winner ever. 11 rings out of 13 tries, and you won as a player coach. Get out of town. Against Wilt Chamberlain, and there was some competition. There weren't that many teams. I'm going to tell you something right now before people bring up, no, the NBA got more watered down. You don't need all them teams. But I'm going to say this. Brady belongs in the conversation. He's dominated the NFL. I'm sorry. You don't win no 7 rings and no 10 trips and go to 14 title game and your conference title games and win 10 of them. Yeah, that's 50. That's crazy. I mean, he's dominant. Bill Belichick is arguably, if he's not the greatest head coach, he's in the conversation. But Brady left him behind this year. Come on now. Jameson Winston didn't get the job done in Tampa Bay last year. He had an interesting year, 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. They didn't make the playoffs. Tom Brady comes there, seals the deal, wins it up. It's kind of like when we get into discussions about when people talk about Phil Jackson, and people always will say, well, Phil just went with, but he won. Other people had coached Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, they didn't win. Other people coached Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, they did not win. He won. You want to be classified a finisher, someone knows how to polish it up and get it done? That's what champions do. And if you know how to have top tier talent and you know what you're doing, hardest thing is to win when you got the deck stacked. But Brady done it all. This was the first year he's had, and he's in his 40s too, by the way, 43. The first year he had somebody that had some skill set like Mike Evans since Randy Moss. You know, so people can trip on they want. You know, I call it like I see it. In these eyes, in my lifetime, he's the GOAT NFL player, period. The most dominant ever in the NFL. No one is dominated like he has. And I will give him the GOAT in the NFL. There are other players who deserve to be in consideration, but I'll give him that. Because when he's won more rings than 2 of the most successful NFL franchises ever, he's done it in 20 years, and you got to think the Dallas Cowboys been around. They've got I take that back. Let me make sure get this right. 3. They got 5. Pittsburgh's got 6. Okay. And Pittsburgh's got 6. I gotta get my math right. Who am I missing? Because he passed up the other franchise. That's a fact. He passed up the other franchise. So 2 franchises got 6. New England. Yeah, team he used to be with. New England and Pittsburgh. And he's got 1 more ring than both of them. If you got more than franchises who've been around 40, 50 years, and you got this by yourself and you're a dominant player, then you are the GOAT. You know, so I'm not even going to trip on that. But I'm not going to say he's the best athlete and all that, and I'm not going to put him over other sports because that's not fair to those other athletes. He ain't been that dude. And I don't know if I could, because I think about Pele and soccer, I don't know if I could respectively even say that there's one athlete that I've seen in another sport that I would say is the end all. Ali is probably my personal, but again, I can't say that to other sports because other sports have had great dominant people and the debates are long and legendary. But I will say this though, Brady does belong in the conversation. I'll say this. He's the GOAT in the NFL, just not the general GOAT in all sports. That's how I will word it. Anyway, give me your thoughts and takes. Hit the like and subscribe. I do welcome thoughts and comments. Do you think he's the greatest football player ever? Do you think he's the GOAT in all sports? I don't, but I do. I will give him that for football. Welcome thoughts and comments. Peace. Be careful out there. And till next time, this has been a real interesting year and so many things. But the NFL always seems to end with something with Tom Brady. It never fails. I'm out.